at night. Found a channel that's out of sight. Beyond the stars, she reads my fate. I'm addicted, can't hesitate. Oh yeah, she starts with Aries, full of fight. Passionate and filled with desire. Oh, then Taurus comes so strong and stable, with a love that's truly unshakable. Oh yeah, she's got the zodiac signs on lock. From Aries to Pisces, she can't stop. Oh, astrology love affair on the go. Subscribe and hit the like button, yo. Subscribe and hit the like button, yo.
Hey everyone, happy Thursday. It's Thursday. Hey Moon Mama. Hey everybody watching, come on in, say hi in the chat, let me know you're here. Please hit that like button on your way in, I appreciate it. All right, so today we are talking about cord cutting and closure. Who is ready to release all the baggage? You guys ready to just get rid of it all? We got lots of information to go over, so grab your drinks, grab your snacks, get comfy. We're not going to be here for a long time. It's just a lot of information, so a couple things to go over. All right. Hey, Moon Mama. Hey, Fly Gal. Hi, Jen. I feel like I'm clicking you guys real quick. Hi, everyone. All right. Yeah, hit that like button for me, pretty please. All right. So first, I'm going to talk about the cord cutting. What is a cord, right? I just want to say hi to everybody real quick. All right. Real quick before I get started too, I am going to be going live tomorrow to do all 12 zodiac signs. So, and that will be during the day. Don't forget to join the Moonies memberships if you'd like. There's a link in the chat. Super chat. Great way to support my channel as well as the memberships. All right. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Okay. So what creates this invisible cord? Anybody know what creates this invisible cord? Usually it's emotions, right? We have an emotional attachment to something, so then it creates this invisible cord. So what we need to do is kind of sever the emotional attachment. Not always easy to do. The biggest factor is you have to want to do it. You have to intend to do it. You can't just sit there. It takes work. Okay. You can't just sit there and say, I want to be done. I want this to be over. I just want closure. I just want this to be cut separate. It doesn't work like that. You can't just wish it to happen. Everything is vibration. Everything is energy. Everything is alignment. So if you're keeping yourself, we talk about this a lot, if you're keeping yourself stuck in this alignment, you're going to stay connected. So disconnecting is raising your vibration away from this, leaving it down in a lower vibration. It's no longer suiting your highest and best goods. There's no reason to keep connected to this. It's a lot of, we tend to stay with the wishful thinking. I wish, shoulda, woulda, coulda. I wish this person would change. I wish this situation was different. I wish. It's always wishing, right? But you gotta kind of face the reality of the situation. So, with that said, pretty much everything that we touch, hug, kiss, we leave some DNA there, right? So we're leaving parts of ourselves with all these things. So it's not necessarily a person. Most of this cord cutting is relationships, but it could even be habits, changing your ways. If you have an emotional attachment to sleeping in, eating popcorn every single night, listening to songs, smoking, drinking, anything like that, that's still an emotional attachment. So it's kind of applies to not only relationships, but habits and things like that as well. So being ready to end that, being ready to walk away, being ready to just cut that tie. I will get into how do we do that in a little bit. So intentions are very important with cutting this. So if you're not feeling like you're ready for it, it may not be the right time to do it. Depends on how bad you really want to. Okay, so closure. Closure doesn't always come from the other person. It has to come from within most of the time. Not everyone's going to give you closure. Not everyone's going to say, I send you off with love. I wish you well. It doesn't always work like that, right? Closure could also be from grieving an unexpected loss or the loss of a loved one, needing closure, understanding why. Why did this happen? Why did it go down this way? In a relationship, why did we become such a vibrational mismatch when we were completely in alignment with each other? What happened? What went wrong? So we need to kind of do a lot of like reflecting and looking from within for these answers. You're not going to get them from the other person. So closure does come from within. What closure is not is getting the last word, the last say, making sure this person understands that their actions and how they hurt you. That's not closure. Drilling this stuff into the person, yelling at them, blaming them, shaming them, pointing the finger at them. That's not closure. So when you're looking for closure, it can't be like, I just want to have the last say. I just want to let them know how I feel. I just want to let them know what they did to me, and then I'll feel like I have closure. Have you ever done that before? It doesn't really give you closure. It doesn't give you the answers. We want answers. We need to understand what actually happened. And most times, closure really means a lesson, right? So a lesson learned, a cycle closes. Closure. Closing a cycle equals closure. So it's a lot. It's a lot. It takes work, you guys. It's not something you can just be like, all right, I'm done. Sorry, I'm just looking at my notes. I wrote a lot. I told you there's a lot of information. I wrote a lot down. So why do we need closure? We need to understand the situation. Closure can help people understand why something happened and accept how it turned out. So we need to have that acceptance. Releasing negative emotions. Closure can help people release negative emotions and experience less inner turmoil. And moving on, closure can help people move forward and experience a sense of completion and release. Whew. All right, so what was I going to say here? A big way that we do create this invisible cord, I meant to say this before, a big way that we do create it is not just emotions, but sex, right? Sharing that energy with someone in such an intimate way creates some kind of a cord, whether it's for fun or whether it's emotional. It does create some kind of a cord. And it's been said, and I'm kind of quite curious to maybe dig into this. I'm not going to do it today, but if that is true, that theory, is that kind of a reason why we have jealousy towards our person's exes, because that energy that they have is connected to them and we take on some of the past people's energy? Do you see what I'm saying? So if you're intimate with this person and they've been intimate with these people over here and you're here, they have a connection, an invisible cord. If they haven't cut it, do you know what I mean? Do you think we take on that energy? Do you think that could be a reason why we have trouble with people's past? Sometimes, not everybody does. I'm just saying. Do you know what I'm saying there? Does that make sense? Sounds plausible. Yeah, it's interesting, right? Yeah. I don't know. I find it interesting. I'd love to dig in more about that, but a lot of ways we can create cords. So the whole thing on closure is lessons too, right? So closing out a cycle creates the closure by learning a lesson. That's your takeaway from it. So what did I learn from the situation? What could I have done differently? And what will I do differently next time? So whether that's like trust issues, red flags, not allowing somebody to treat you a certain way, not allowing a certain amount of time pass without having resolution to things. Everybody's different, so you got to determine what exactly are you closing out. You know what I mean? So what is your takeaway? So we also have to understand too, from a big picture here, people come into our lives. Some are meant to just be temporary. Some aren't meant to just stay. And it's kind of like a habit, right? It's hard to let go of a habit. It's hard to let go of a person or a situation. Even when it crumbles to complete chaos, we still want to hold on to it for some reason. And it's just not easy to let go, but we have to understand with the big picture, these people are meant to just come in and teach us this lesson. They're meant to just pass through. You're meant to have those memories. You're meant to have had those experiences with that person. But there's a reason for an ending of a season, right? So sometimes it's just not meant to continue on. And if it does continue on, it could just be karmic cycles where you're going against the resistance. You're creating this in a way by hanging on to things that just aren't meant for you anymore. They may have been meant for you last year, last month. They're not meant for you anymore. So we have to look at the big picture and say, like, I learned a lesson from this. Even if it was the smallest of lessons or the biggest of lessons, what did you learn from this? So it's definitely hard to get away from. Boundaries are big. We talked about boundaries before. Holding on to the chaos. Yeah. So I feel like I'm kind of like talking in circles, but and I understand, like, without closure, and the best way I could kind of sum this up for me, like when I'm hearing a song on the radio and I don't finish the song, or someone changes a channel or something happens, that song gets stuck in my head like on repeat, like all day long. I need to finish hearing that song. Or it's like watching a series or something and you don't finish it. You're like, how did that end? I wonder how that ended. It kind of bothers you, right? So it's kind of like you're just going to keep playing these things on repeat until you accept that it's just over. It's done. I got to move on. This isn't serving me anymore. So after, I think I talked about this in a previous live stream months and months ago, how I did this cord cutting was I grabbed a notebook like this, and on each specific page, so I took one page, I wrote somebody's name in a circle in the center of the page. Next page, somebody else's name in the center. Anybody that I felt I was still attached to, anybody that I felt did me wrong, anybody that it just still bothered me, even if they're close to me and I'm not like, we're not fighting, we're just something that was still kind of buried deep that was bothering me. I wrote their name down. So I have 10, I'm just going to say 10 pieces of paper, a different name on each piece of paper, circled in the middle. And then around that circle for each individual person, I wrote down everything that bothered me, everything that hurt me, everything that I wanted to release, everything, like everything. Cheated on me, stabbed me in the back, broke my trust, however, like whatever it is that this person did to you, write that on a piece of paper. For me, I have a wood stove, so I sat in front of the wood stove and I kind of did a little mantra, something along the lines of, this person no longer has a hold on me anymore. I release this person and all attachments that I have with them. Attachments, I feel you could say like negative attachments too. After I did this, I'm just going to side note this real quick. After I did this, I did release, it worked. I'll tell you what I did in a second to finalize it. It worked, but I also found out like some of them, we were still friends, but there was no negativity. There was no like need. There was no, the attachment wasn't there. It was gone. It was completely gone. So let's reverse now. Once I had all these people written down, I have the fireplace, I sat in front, I said my mantra, I release you, I no longer have attachments, you no longer have a hold over me, I forgive you. Forgiveness is one of the biggest parts of this too. And then I took each page, I crumpled it up, and I threw it in the fire. Please don't start a fire or start your house on fire or do anything in a garbage can or anything like that. If you don't have means to a fire safely, you can just rip it up while you're saying it. Tear the paper up, rip it up, whatever. So after I did that, and I did that for each individual, I said the same mantra for each individual, unless there's like certain situations you can change your mantra a little bit if you need to. But yeah, after I did that, it was refreshing. I felt like a weight was lifted, and it really did bring me closure. It really did. I didn't think about the why did this happen, or I wish this person would come back, or like all of it was gone. It was weird. It worked. It worked. I don't know. There's many different ways you can do this. That's what I did, and it worked for me. I know there's closure from a narcissist. First, you have to free yourself. That's like step one. You have to safely remove yourself from their life, physically remove yourself. And then you can energetically disconnect from them. Narcissists, I mean, mine ended with a restraining order when I left mine, but if you're not already free, you have to get free from them first. You can't cut cords, ties, get closure, nothing if you're still like under the same roof and you're still in communication and contact with them. It's tough, but the first step is to remove yourself from the situation. And then you have to do some healing work first, and then you have to accept, and then you can do this stuff. So healing is a part probably right before. You have to be ready to cut these cords. Narcissists, they have such a hold on you, it could take a long time to recover and find yourself again and feel that confidence again. And it's tough. It's tough. I don't know how far along you are in that situation. You move to another state away from a narcissist. Yeah, you have to remove yourself from it. Like completely blocked, gone, living at an address they don't know, changing your phone number, like you got to literally do all of that. Abusive narc, yeah. Therapy, for sure. You're going to need some therapy in there. Definitely. Okay, yeah, that's an easy way too. I mean, there's many different ways, so it's whatever works for you. 2 years free after 6. Yeah, mine was a 6-year one too. Like 13 years done. It's been a long time. 2 years of therapy. I got like 8 years under my belt, but it's not just from that. It's not just from that. There's Jen's comment. I missed your comment up there, Jen. Sorry. Yeah, it's no joke, narcissist. I feel like that word gets thrown around so much, but it's almost like there's a spectrum of narcissism. There's like severe, and then there's like minor traits, personality traits, covert, yeah. So there's different kinds. There's a scale. Extreme feels like a different lifetime ago. Same. And it's like you look back and you're like, why? Why did I stay so attached to that person? I know that they do that though. They totally gaslight you, manipulate you, project. Oh, it was torture. I don't want to relive that again. But you look back and you're just, why did I stay? Why did I allow that person? And that's part of this lesson for closure, is to understand why. With mine, the restraining order aside, like whatever, so we could have no contact. And then once it was done, I texted him, and it was because I needed closure. It ended so abruptly. I didn't get to say my piece. I felt I needed to say my piece for some reason, and it didn't do anything. That didn't do anything. So that's what I was saying before. What closure is not having that last word, not telling people how you feel. It's part of it. It could be part of it if that person is willing to listen, but most times they're not willing to listen. So that's why it comes from within. You're not going to get somebody to sit there and say, I'm sorry I wronged you. I'm sorry I hurt you. I'm sorry I cheated on you. Unless they're trying to get you back and you're saying no, then you'll get the apology, but then it's not a true, genuine apology. You know what I mean? So you have to get this from within. It's not going to come from the other person. Just like forgiveness. Forgiveness you can't get from other people all the time. It comes from within. Like, you're not going to call the other person up and be like, I forgive you now, click. You know what I mean? It comes from within. I forgive this person. And you know why? You have to look at the big picture. Why did this person treat you this way? Because they were probably treated that way, or their parents treated them that way, or hurt people will hurt people. So they're probably hurting inside. They probably need therapy. They probably need help. They probably need a reality check. So you got to look at the big picture. Parents were abusive. Parents were alcoholics. Parents were divorced and didn't pay a speck of attention to this person, or you know what I mean? You have to look at like the source. Most times we're not just born like this. It's a learned thing. Our love map is said to be created by the age of 6, how we give and receive love. So if you have a child who's under the age of 6 and they're kind of neglected, they're going to have like abandonment issues. It could start that early. They're sponges, So you got to look at that big picture of, it's not you. Most of the time, it's not you. It's the person. It's their upbringing. It's their past hurts, their pains, their traumas. That's why they're acting like this towards you. Like, do you ever get into an argument? Like, I don't understand. I didn't do nothing. I said nothing. I didn't do anything. It's because it's not you. It's them. It's things that they need to heal. And unfortunately, you can only lead a horse to water. You can't force them to drink, right? You can't change somebody unless they want to change. Now it blows your mind what I went through. Look, I almost created the multiple personality or dissociative disorder or whatever they call it now. I did not want to be sitting in a chair because I used to get lectured. I did not want to be sitting there because they would say everything it was lies. And I'm like, I didn't do that. I didn't do that. I didn't say that. I didn't do that. I didn't do that. I would literally be in my body wishing I wasn't sitting in my body. Like, I feel like I almost created another personality to take over because I couldn't hear it anymore. It was awful. Yeah, they won't take accountability. They aren't self-aware. You can only heal yourself. At the end of the day, it's all on you. It is. Codependency is leaning on somebody else for all these, and we all have it in us, right? We all have some codependency with things. So nobody's perfect. We're not perfect. We probably contributed to some of the chaos in a relationship. You know what I mean? Nobody's perfect. But as far as healing and detaching and accepting, that forgiving, it really is all on you. Yeah. DID, right? Dissociative identity disorder. Is that what it is? I'm sorry. I'm old. I'm used to the old terms. But yeah, that's what it is, right? Dissociative identity disorder, I think. Yeah. Yep. So, all right. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna play a video. I thought these ladies brought up some good points. It's like 15 minutes long. I don't know if I'll play the whole thing. But again, if you search, there's millions of different things. What I did, I can't say it enough how it worked. And it worked fast. Like the next day, I was like, I felt free with all of them, every single one of them. There wasn't one that was lingering where I'm like, oh, maybe there's still like work to do or something I got to get over. No, not one of them was affecting me anymore. It was severed. It was gone. I turned 43 in like 3 weeks. I don't want to be 43. I don't want to be. How long does it take after you do it? Oh, the next day. Yeah, it was quick. For me, it was quick, but I was also really ready. I was ready to be done, release. I was ready because it had a hold on me. It did. It had a hold on me. It had a hold on what I was manifesting for relationships. I kept getting same situation, different person. The same hurts, the same pain, the same traumas, the same, literally same situation over. I think I talked about this too. I was on a 6-week cycle. It was like I date a person, 6 weeks, and I used to call myself good luck Chuck, good luck Tammy, because every single person I dated, they went back to their ex. And I'm like, I'm just like this ex matchmaker or something, you know what I mean? It was awful. And I'm like, why do I keep manifesting somebody who is so attached to their ex? They're not together, but they get back together right after us, and they'd start fights and blame me, and I'd feel crappy about myself, and I'd be chasing, and I'd be like, don't leave, what's going on? Like, tell me, let's fix it. And they didn't want to fix it. They wanted to be with their ex. They have history. I was new. You know what I mean? It was tough. I was stuck in a tough cycle, and I had enough. I had enough of the cycle, enough of it. So I was ready. So I feel like you have to be ready. You have to have the right intentions. You have to really want it. Just like a habit, giving up a habit. You have to want it. You have to want that change. Because you can sit there and you can cut cords and burn paper and chant and do whatever the heck you want to do. You can do it over and over and over again. It's not going to work unless you really do want this and understand why you want this and what lessons you can take away from all of it. They don't want you till you're gone. I know. It's not the history. They were comfortable and you were a challenge. Yeah. They want what they can't have. True that. That's so true. It is true. Oh, thanks. It's because of the lighting in here. In real life, I got wrinkles. Cake and eat it, yeah. Want their cake and eat it too. Yep. Yeah, so I was ready, and I think that's why it worked, because I was at that point. I cried while I did it, while I wrote everything. I brought it all to the surface. I bawled my eyes out. While I was writing these things, I was kind of reliving it, remembering. It was almost like it was there again, but it was gone. So it's like I brought it to the surface, and then I just let it go. I didn't keep it buried. I didn't push it back down. I let it out. They don't want you to have that leverage in a relationship. Zero leverage. None. Yep. Yep. So how ready are you? You know what I mean? How ready are you to kind of like a motivational speaker, like, are you ready? Are you ready to change your life? Are you ready to get everything you've ever wanted? Are you ready to manifest your dreams, desires, goals? But there's truth to it. Crying does release tension, emotion, negative vibrational frequencies. Yep. Oh, it's funny. There was a period of time, I think it was 2017. My friend was staying here with me, and I had stuff happening left and right. And she looked at me and she goes, "How come you never cried?" And I was like, "I'm just so numb. Like, I have nothing left to cry." Like, I'm numb to it all. So there was like a period of time I couldn't cry. Nothing. I had nothing left. Nothing. Shed the negative in the third dimension. Yep. Yeah, please hit that like button for me. If you're new here, welcome. Come on in. Don't be shy. Say hi in the chat. We have our awesome moon mods in the house, Jennifer Elliott and Moon Mama. They're amazing. Sorry, I forgot to give you a little intro. Been over those mind games for a minute. You're an Aries, so we are numb a lot. But Scorpio moon, yeah. I'm Scorpio. I'm Scorpio, sun, rising, and I have like 3 or 4 other placements, and I'm Taurus moon. I am stubborn. I'm not a quitter. It pains me to give up on stuff because I'm so stubborn, especially a relationship. If I put a lot of work and effort into it, it's hard. You couldn't cry for a long time. Yeah. That's when you know, like, I cried so much, like there's nothing left here. It dried up. I ended up being able to again. But especially when I did the release, it all came up. It all came up. Definitely cried out. Yeah. Yeah, you hit that. And that's probably that, when is enough enough? That's probably that rock bottom point for this, you know, when you just can't cry anymore. You don't have it in you anymore. Scorpios know when the game's up. Scorpios just know. And I think that's also like where I went wrong too, because it's like we're creatures of habit, right? So even in a new relationship, if they called you every day when they got it, when it's new, they want to talk to you all the time, right? They want to say goodnight. They want to text you in the morning. They want to call you on their lunch or whatever. Like, they have these little habits, especially when it's new. And like, I had one that was, they always texted like, "Good night, oh, sweet dreams." Like, it would always be like a cute little message, and it just said like G night. And I was like, out of character. What's going on? Sure enough, his ex-girlfriend was at his house. So those little things, I pay attention to all of that stuff. You text me something weird, you text me abbreviation, you text me just an emoji, when even after a couple days, you have your habit already set, you know, your character already set. Pick up on it. I hate the hay text. Just send them back a bale of hay. A picture of hay. I had someone do that to me. That's why I said that. It was funny. I laughed. Never sacrifice your core being for anyone lesser than an empress. Yeah. Yeah. All right, let's watch this video for a few and see what these ladies have to say. Why is it not picking up? Hold on. Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right. I think I got to do the screen capture thing again. Hold on. It might blank me for a second. No, it didn't. Okay. There we go. Technology. There we go. All right.
Write a list of the lessons that you learned from the relationship, because sometimes we look at that relationship and we only notice the bad parts, but even the bad parts can provide us with valuable lessons.
Exactly.
So maybe the lesson is I learned how to speak my truth, or I learned how to stand in my power, or I learned about a characteristic that I thought I wanted, but I actually don't want, or is a non-negotiable for me.
Yeah.
So write a list of all the lessons that you've experienced, because the truth is we're going to continue to repeat lessons and cycles until we learn from them. So learn those lessons. Be like, universe, I got you.
Yeah,
I
she
learned
gonna
that one
come
real
back
good.
and keep spanking you
Goodbye.
with it.
Exactly. So you can move on and continue to learn new lessons in your life.
I got a little intro thing here.
Which is audio. So without further ado, let's dive.
Life. Today we wanted to share with you a very simple ritual that actually has a profound impact energetically on releasing ex-partners, former friends, relationships, lovers, whoever it is that you just really want to cut the cord of energy from in your life. And this is a really great, easy way to do it and has a lot of symbology and metaphor in it. So we want to share a couple of these little ideas with you.
So when you create a relationship with someone, whether it's a romantic relationship, even a work partnership, etc., you start to create a cord with that person. Perhaps you've noticed that certain friends bring out different energies in you. Maybe with some friends you're more playful, other ones more serious. Some drama comes out. That's the frequency of that energetic cord. Now, when we're in a relationship, sometimes that cord can get really chaotic. It can have all of our previous traumas and fears and worries, especially in a romantic partnership where we're often echoing back the unhealed relationship patterns with our parents. So sometimes that cord gets so heavy, so chaotic that it's time to release it. And that's when you finally get that sign again and again and again that a breakup needs to happen. So in this video, we want to share how to actually do a cord cutting ritual so you can move forward with clarity and peace.
Yeah, that connection. The cord is the connection. It's really like, okay, we've shared energy, we've shared space, we've shared mind, thought, communication, all of our elements, right? We've touched, we have had our energies merging with one another. So that cord is really just representative of your connection. And energetically, it can actually literally be there still when you're like spinning, thinking about someone, you can't stop, and they're just like in your mind. So what you're going to need for this ritual is some type of string or a cord. We've got a nice shiny silver one here for you all. You don't have.
Hold on, I just had a quick thought. You know, and if there's guys in here, I apologize, but for the ladies, you guys, it's like when you have a good friend and your cycle ends up being on the same pattern, same days. Our bodies talk to each other all the time. It's vibrational, right? So that thought just came into mind for some reason while they were talking. I do have to pause this once in a while so I don't get copyright struck, just so you know. So if I do, might say a couple words in between. All right.
Of a cauldron, but you know, that makes it extra ritually if you want to burn your things in just any burn safe bowl. You're going to need one piece of paper and a pen, and of course some scissors and something to light your paper on fire with.
Woo, fire.
So a really great time to do this is on a full moon, when the moon is at its peak.
Oh yeah, happy full moon, everybody. Did you guys see it? It's so bright. If you can see it, it's like, woo, bright, bright, bright.
And we're releasing and shedding and letting go of what is no longer serving us. If it's not a full moon, then just set the container that this is a time for you to release. Maybe you have some elements in the altar that you work with, or you light a candle for yourself. Be sure to be undisturbed for about an hour or so you can really let yourself feel the feels. And what we suggest for you to do is to actually write a letter to this person of all the things that you wish you could say. Maybe the hurt, the sadness, the anger. Let it all out in this letter. You never have to give this letter to them. In fact, we actually recommend not to.
Don't do it.
Letter is for your own healing, but it's going to let you move through any of the emotions that you still may be holding on to and come to clarity. So you're no longer holding on to them in your heart anymore, but you can actually release this heaviness by writing this letter. And then
writing is huge. And like they said, and I meant to say this too, like writing out your feelings, like write them a letter, but don't give them the letter. You know what I mean? Like getting it out on paper is a huge release too. Right.
And
after that, one of the things that you really want to get clear on is specifically, what are you releasing? So you say everything, like, let that letter be a purge. Say it all. Say the worst things you never said. The things that, you know, when you're like talking to yourself in the mirror sometimes and you like get all angry and you wish you could say the...
Christina, what color candle? Probably white. I mean, you can probably use any color candle. But white is like purity, new beginnings.
Those things to them, put all that in there. Great. Don't worry, we're going to burn it anyways. And then get really clear in yourself. Okay, this person, I chose to have them in my life. I let them in. I get to take responsibility for my role in that relationship. What are the ways that I showed up, the behaviors that I exhibited, or the belief systems that I was obviously playing out that allowed me to have this energy in my life, or to keep it maybe longer than it was? It doesn't even have to be that this person was necessarily bad, but that if you weren't listening to that intuition, that inner guidance system, and stayed longer than you should, what part of you needs to be released? Is it fear? Is it unworthiness? Is it not enough? Feeling like if I leave, I'll never find someone else. That's just scarcity. That's a total limiting belief. So really, really getting clear about, after you write the letter, what are the things that I am letting go of from myself in order to become a different kind of partner, a different capacity of manifester, so that when I am ready, I can magnetize and attract more aligned, whether it's partnerships or friendships or loverships, into my life.
Such good wisdom. And we also suggest for you to write a list of the lessons that you learned from the relationship, because sometimes we look at that relationship and we only notice the bad parts, but even the bad parts can provide us with valuable lessons.
Exactly.
So maybe the lesson is, I learned how to speak my truth, or I learned how to stand in my power, or I learned
It's so true, right?
about a characteristic that I thought I wanted, but I actually don't want, or is a non-negotiable for me.
Yeah.
So write a list of all of the lessons that you've experienced, because the truth is we're going to continue to repeat lessons and cycles until we learn from them. So learn those lessons. Be like, universe, I got you.
Yeah,
I
she
learned
got to
that one
come
real
back and
good.
keep spanking you with
Goodbye.
it. Yeah.
Exactly. So you can move on and continue to learn new lessons in your life.
Totally. And so after that, the lessons, that's like the harvesting, right? You want to be able to harvest all the things, even if it's one of the things that I just love about nature, right? Is all the things, all the leaves and the dirt and everything that falls down fuels what grows. So that's the harvest. You're like plucking from what has grown. Even if it was shit, right? Like, even if it really was a horrible experience for you, whatever grew from that, you're harvesting. Okay, these are the lessons that I've learned. And then, so again, you're going to take some time for this. You've got your purging. You've got what you're personally purging. You've got your harvesting. And then what do you want next? What do you want to come out of it? Who do you want to be? And I think it's really nice to either put 2 columns or choose a letter that you want to write to your new partner, or that your new partner writes back to you, or that is a letter from your future self. Something like that. Writing a letter is really powerful. And if you put that energy of, okay, maybe I'm writing a letter to me from my future self, or I'm writing a letter to the woman I am or the person I am when I meet this partner of mine. Something like that. And really just calling in that energy.
I'm telling you, there is so much power in writing. There's so much power in writing, whether it's releasing or manifesting, anything like that. There's so much power in writing. It's also cool, like what she was saying, your future self. What would you, and I've done this before, I think in the last live I said something like this, but if you were to look back at yourself 10 years ago, what would you say to yourself 10 years ago? So now imagine where you are right now, 10 years from now. What would you say to yourself 10 years from now, back at you right now? You know what I mean? Like, would you say to yourself, like, wake up, like, snap out of it? You know, you got this. You can do this. You're better than this. You deserve better than this. Look at what you have now 10 years later. You know what I mean? So I like what she's saying here. Manure makes great fertilizer. Jen. It does. It does.
Energy. Feeling who that person is that you're ready to call in because you're aware of all this other stuff and the work that you also get to do. So once you've done all of these different writing processes, what you want to do is start to breathe into your body, really get into a meditative state. You can take as long as you need, really just using deep breaths. And you want to do a body scan and feel through your whole being. And where do you experience that cord being most present? Is it in your pussy, in your womb, in your sexuality? Is it in your solar plexus and it's sort of draining your personal power? Is it right in your mind where it's just your thoughts are spinning and you can't get that person out of there and focus on things that are more important for you? Really just tuning in and seeing where is the cord present in your body.
So once you notice where this cord is present, you can begin doing.
Okay, so body scans. Not the easiest thing to do. One thing you can do, I do this when I do Reiki, is I have a, let me grab it just to, if you're not good at meditation, if you're not good at quieting your mind, if you have like a stuffed animal, like a bear, a doll, something, you can lay it flat and you can take your hand and come down towards the, hold on, let me get this off the screen. Come down towards the stuffed animal, and you can start at the top or the bottom. And if you scan, you can feel in your hands, if you intend that this is you, where the resistance is. You can actually feel it. When I do Reiki, that's how I can tell, like, if somebody has pain in their feet, if it's distance Reiki, elbows, neck, shoulders, that's how I can feel, because I can feel tension. You might feel hot, cold energy. So you can do that if you're not good at quieting your mind. But doing a body scan, another way, if you want, lay down on your bed, lay flat, relax, take deep breaths. So deep breath in, count of 5, hold for like 2, and let out for the count of 8. Do that like 5 times, relax, close your eyes, and just imagine kind of like a scanner. Start at the top of your head and just imagine the scanner going down through your body. And where do you hold the stress, the tension? I'm an overthinker, but I also carry a lot on my shoulders, my neck, in that area. Some people carry it in their gut, in their stomach. Some people carry it like in their lower back. So it really all just does depend. Or you could, microdose. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. She said shrooms. The body can't scan part is so interesting. Yeah. Yep. You had to add to Jen's. Why, what with the fertilizer? Mushrooms. Some people carry it in their throat, yeah, and their root chakra. Like, you're not able to talk. You're not able to communicate. Head, shoulders, and neck. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, you can, if you set the intention, I want to feel where, try it tonight, and then comment on this later and tell me if it worked. If you do the cord cutting, tonight is full moon. Was it last night? Anyway, the moon is huge right now and it's bright. So tonight would be a good night to do it if you have time. I didn't do it on a full moon. I know full moons are about releasing, so it is a good time. And you do have post-shadow energy right now too. So you'll be good for a couple days too if you wanted to do it tonight. You tried it just then? Is that what you mean? Try it with you just then? Overthinker. Oof. Sucks. Cause of insomnia. All right. We're almost done with these ladies here. We got a couple minutes left.
the proper ritual. So in this ritual, you're going to be actually creating a safe fire, like we mentioned somewhere. Now, this is creating some completion between you and this person. You've said all of the words that you've wanted to say, and you're letting the fire burn it and turn it into ashes so it can move on to just be an experience, a lesson for you that you are now harvesting.
You also want to make sure that you don't leave the ashes in your home. The ashes from the fire, wherever you burn them, unless they're like in your fireplace, that's okay. But you could even just scoop them out. And
again, please don't get a metal container, and please don't do this inside any house. Please don't do it where it could be unsafe. Please, please, please. You don't have to burn it. You can rip the paper. You can crumple it up. There's other ways. You can light the corner, blow it out. But it's still, if you need to burn something, like, then you can do that. But please, please, please don't do what they're doing as far as like being indoors. Plus the smoke, all that, it's not good. Unless you have like a stove, a fireplace, a fire pit outside, something like that. I just do not recommend what they're doing with the container thing. All right.
Ditch them. You want to bury them outside, return them to the earth. And then once you've done that, and feel free if you desire to like really be expressed, if you don't have sacred sound safety, then don't worry about it. But you can also say some of the things out loud as that letter is burning, or just make any sounds that really help you feel that purge and release and completion. Then you want to take your cord and you're going to just place it wherever that part of your body is that you felt the awareness. And you can just like put it on your mind, really see it, and send however you saw or experienced or felt that cord, you're going to sort of transfer it into this one. You're like, I'm removing this from my head or from my heart or from my womb, and I'm putting that energy into this cord. And feel the other end being connected to that person, and really just sending that energy. Okay, wow, I'm disconnecting this from myself, and I'm going to cut this cord. This cord represents me completing the energy that I had with that person. And this doesn't mean that you like never have to talk to them again, or that you can't do any healing, but this is just for you, right? To be clear of their energy. And then what you're going to do, you're going to...
Christina, good question. What about burning sage? You can burn sage, and cleanse yourself, open the window, and like anything negative no longer serves my highest and best good. Please exit through this window right now. Like, you can do that too. I would do it before and after you do some kind of writing or some kind of what they're talking about. There's other ways too. Like, if you get those like connected candles, you can like light the ones that you hang, like those, you know what I'm talking about, where the string connects. You can do that. You can cut it, or you can light it in the middle and cut it so it's separated. You can do stuff like that. That's really, really simple, and say a mantra. There's a lot of things. There's so many different ways. There's so many different ways. But saging before and after, I'm glad you brought that point up. You can do that. I don't think the sage is going to sever the ties, but I think it is going to help cleanse your energy, cleanse your aura, cleanse the house that you live in, stay in, if you're doing it inside a house, or just your personal space, anything like that. It is a good idea, so I'm glad you brought that up. Shredder. Hunter, super full moon in Aries, perfect timing. Yeah, it is good timing. Yeah. Palo Santo, yep, is good too. Not so much for attachments, exactly. Yep. I'm gonna have to watch this from the beginning. Yeah, and if you want to watch these ladies too, it's Sahara Rose. It's right here. I don't know if you can see it. Right, oh, wrong screen. Right there. And it was about a year and a half ago, March 17th. They did this, 2023. They did this video. All right.
Need your scissors, and you just focus on yourself, where you felt it, releasing from that place, and as slow or as fast as you want to, just and feel yourself sending that energy back to them.
We also suggest wrapping up the letter that you wrote of all of the lessons that you've learned with some time and planting it in your tree, a plant that you have in your home. So you're letting those lessons incubate, you're letting them grow and sprout so they can continue to blossom in your life, and you don't have to learn those lessons anymore. You may actually physically feel something being removed from your body. I remember when I did this practice years ago, I felt like my solar plexus suddenly had so much more energy and movement that I was giving, just remaining attached to this old story of an old relationship that wasn't serving me. And also after doing it, I was no longer interested in what they were doing or their social media or any of that. I physically felt a shift in my being.
And if this person is available to you, one of the things that
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, I felt that attachment was gone. I felt the weight's been lifted. Like, I felt cleared. I just felt cleared. It's amazing. I didn't do everything that they did, though. There's, I don't know, it's a little in depth, I guess. I don't know. I mean, do it. I'm more of a simple person, I guess. But I like what they're saying. I like their ideas and visualizing and detaching it and taking that cord and like detaching it. And nope, it no longer has a place here. It no longer has a place here. You know, it's cut. It's severed. Anyway, okay.
I really recommend is doing a harvesting ritual where you do sit down together and share with them what you learned, what value you received from the relationship. If it's a healthy, stable, did like some conscious uncoupling, that harvesting ritual is really powerful. I'm going to make another video all about that, but you can, if that person is available and a healthy, stable human being to do something like that with, you can also do something like this together. Just like, don't read the letter out loud, And you can also, at the end, once you're done with this cord and you cut it, you can burn this too. You can just put it into your cauldron and burn it and send all of those ashes outside.
Such great tips. So let us know what cords.
All right. Yeah, I don't know. I like some of the stuff. The rolling it up and planting it into a plant and tree and all that. I don't know if I would do that, but to each their own. If that sounds like a good idea to you, then do that with the lessons that you learned. So it grows and sprouts, and you can do that. Sorry, you screenshotted it. I cut me either, and I like cut all along my body. All on your body. Yeah, what if the plant dies? Yeah, okay, that's a little risky. I don't know if I would do that. What if the plant dies? Well, then you know that it's just, it's time to move on. The lessons are learned. You don't always need to be reminded of the lessons, right? You don't always have to be reminded. You take it and you bury it. I don't know. You have to burn the plant. Where's my yeah. You guys are funny, coming up with some good stuff. Yeah, so if you have time, do it tonight. It doesn't take long, but it does change. Again, I cried a lot. I cried hard when I did mine. So it might bring a lot to the surface. So just kind of beware. You may not even intend for it to come out, but once you start writing and digging into the memories and the emotions towards it, when you're writing this stuff down, it could change your whole mood. So if you're in like a really good mood and you don't want to bother with this tonight, don't. But if you're really ready for it and you're kind of like, I got nothing better to do, then do it, Again, please be careful with the whole fire thing. I do not want you guys to come back here and be like, my house burned down. Please don't. So Jennifer, then the plant had an attachment. That's true. That could be true. I wonder. It's great for healing. Yeah, laughter is the best medicine. It is. It is. Poor plants. It's just the lessons, though, that we're saying to put in there, not the letters that you wrote to the person. Just your lessons. It's a huge help. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I feel like with the readings I do for everybody, there's an attachment. There's always an attachment, and I want to help people heal and grow and be happy and find the love of their life. That's what I want to do. I want to help people overcome these big obstacles and hurts and pains and trauma, because I did, and I'm not perfect. I still have things, you know what I mean? I still have stuff, trash, garbage, whatever that I need clearing out. I still have it. It's an endless cycle. We release, we take on new energy. Sometimes if we're not careful, we take on more bad energy. So it's a constant thing, you know, constant releasing. That's what growth is. That's how we elevate, is by dropping dead weight, and you go up and up and up, right? So high school bonfires. You guys are gonna send me a picture like, look what I did. It's gonna be like just like a huge TP of a fire. Oh geez. If so, you're in real estate. I was a realtor for like 20 years. Heal and evolve. Yes, evolve. Good word, Moon Mama. I like that. Evolve. Yeah. Learning and moving on. I mean, I've learned so much in my adult life. I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful. Gratitude has a lot to do with this too. Be grateful for these lessons. They sucked, but be grateful for them, because it does. It helps you evolve. It helps you grow. It helps you learn. And that's what we're all here for, growing and learning. So, all right, you guys, I'm going to cut it here. Thank you, everybody who stuck with me till the end. Thank you for everybody who contributed with your chats. They were good. It was fun tonight. I will be going live again tomorrow to do the all 12 signs during the day, usual time. I hope this helped. Yeah, I hope this helped. I hope it gave everybody just a little bit of direction on what to do and how to do it. Because again, if you Google it, if you go on YouTube, if you look, there's so many, and it's overwhelming, right? Well, do I do this? Do I do that? This one says do this. This one says don't do that. So it's like, what do I do? I just wanted to share what I did that worked. Theirs is a little similar to what I did. Theirs goes a little bit more in depth, but I didn't need all that other stuff. And being ready, being truly ready to release this is, I feel like, the most important part, is being ready. So I can't wait to hear from you guys tomorrow. If you do this tonight, let me know how you feel. Again, the next day, I felt great. It lingered for a little bit, you know what I mean? But I felt like it was gone. It was gone. The attachments were gone. And it was great. It was a great feeling. All right, so I'll stop rambling. I will stop rambling. All right, you guys, I'll end it with a quick song to close this out, and I will see you tomorrow. Be safe, be careful, be free. All right, you guys.
Moonies, shining bright in the sky. Moonies, dancing as the night.